carved tile pretty much, and I used that to come up with this geometry where you have this shape, but you also have the interior shape, so like that's the bow and then that's like the wider one. And by overlapping them in a specific way, you're able to create a lot of like geometry that creates shading, but it also allows airflow. And it can also curve in different ways. And I used that to create a pavilion that could be used for shading. And for the program of it, I was thinking similar to Brianna and Alex as a gathering space, like the palaces that we learned about yesterday. It could also be used for exhibition type stuff because there's a lot of surface area to it for displaying things. So I need to further develop the program and look at like what we've learned from visiting Jamestown and really exploring.
What are, like, on public walls, like near markets, you've seen, what is it called? Posters for movies. I don't watch those movies, maybe some do. Or a lot to do with churches, I feel. Do they pay?
No.
It's completely free.
Yeah.
I think some are not even allowed. Because you see them like post no bill. You're not allowed to post, but they still.
Yeah. But it's interesting as a community billboard, wall, where you go in there if you want to announce, I'm selling this couch, this is where I'm located, this is a map, sort of business advertising, sort of a wall. That could be interesting too. Particularly for Chaliwate, I think there's going to be a lot of people selling different things and advertising, and if they're not able to pay for a booth for the 3 days, they can leave their information on, But have you seen those public sort of maybe look at that a little bit more too. But it seems that you guys went deep into Jamestown or really into that hangout space. What did you guys see? We're not. So you were going into houses, and there's sort of spaces between houses where people hang out.
Yeah, and they were all like sitting around on like these tables playing a lot of games, and those seemed like the spaces that they were really they really wanted
Really
to have
used.
more of.
Okay.
And like some of them were very we stepped out from being in the street where it was very hot and sunny, and we walked into them, and we actually got to sit
Are they
down.
covered?
Yeah,
Okay.
usually they're covered, and we got to actually go in there, and it was a lot cooler, and some of them had fans, some didn't. But even the ones that didn't have fans, just by shading it and having airflow through there, it was very cool, and that's kind of something.
Are these just men or women too?
It was mostly men.
Women were outside and around them, but really inside were the men who were playing games.
We're creating spaces for men to hang out. No, but maybe when we're back, if we have the chance on Saturday, look at where women hang out. It's interesting. I haven't really thought about. Women are usually out
On the street.
in the front, and
Actually,
men
yeah.
have more privacy.
Yeah.
I've also seen that those palaces are basically they're open, right? It's a roof. They're not enclosed.
At most, it's 3 sides. There's always one that's completely open to the street. Yeah.
So the ones I've seen is low wall.
They sell also farmer or something around, so they don't go inside the outside.
So how to create more privacy for women who are hanging out there? It'd be interesting to look at. If they're on the main artery, pedestrian area where they're sitting and hanging out, do they need privacy? How would you create privacy for women? Or you could just design for men. It's really interesting because spaces in Jamestown are incredibly gendered, and where women are during one part of the day and where men come to. It's a whole cycle, and it really changes. Which is why I kind of understand why Joe's the 24-hour cycle. You would notice how spaces.
They're used.
Yeah. Just watch one in front of one house and see what happens. Yeah. Okay. How about kids? Did they hang out in those kind of spaces too?
I think we were in a time where the kids were still in
School?
school.
Yeah, they were just getting out of school, but some of them were starting to kind of come gather like around there. They weren't inside of them, but they were around.
Yeah, because we built I and a few other folks, in the third Chalewati, we did a pocket park, small park for kids. It was kind of a failure, mainly because the next day the people decided they wanted it back for a car park. I think children have their own territory, and it'd be interesting to map that, whether they take over such spaces that men use during the day at night. But I will never do a project like that again. It was too important. They were making too much money from the car park. Okay.
And around the parks and playgrounds, but the geometry is so interesting that it might
Keep people.
keep people,
True.
especially children.
Yeah.
If, with this,
We also have to think about how they're handling it. You know, how they begin to, they might, I wouldn't even call it vandalism. They may actually add interesting,
Reappropriate.
Yeah, reappropriate in different ways. Your structure might just be crap, like a few days. But
I mean, it might be a safe place for kids to hang out, because you find them like after school and on weekends they usually play on the streets.
true. Yeah.
So if you have a centralized area where kids can come and play, other than the streets, it's
Yeah.
But I think since most of the parts look okay, as of now they look movable. I mean, like a jigsaw puzzle.
yeah.
It would really be fun if kids could build their own space.
yeah, like play furniture.
Yeah, like they stack the pieces on themselves and then.
We can get some experimental children back in Troy for you. See what they actually do with it.
Like maybe have a few pieces that can come off and be like rearranged, like
Yeah.
flexible pieces.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be the whole structure that would change.
Yeah, yeah. During part of the day, there's like the bottom half where maybe you want people to walk to that can be disassociated from the main structure. Yeah, it's interesting. It could also just come out and be furniture, you know? Yeah. I mean, this might be long term because we can't really deal with that, but it's an interesting concept.
Well, there are many. Well, many. There are some attempts to make like pedagogical or math playgrounds.
Yeah.
Where you however you move through the space, the number of times that you jump, and then everything, you actually you're dealing with math issues.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
You jump 3 times. You can.
Participatory learning,
Yeah, and they're done very simply. What here it could be, because these things at the same time that they are very puzzle-like.
Puzzle, yeah.
They are also
Yeah.
quite complex, you know. And I mean, I'm actually looking at the next project. This one, it's just based on it's called a touche tile. It's a tile which basically. Let me see if she put the example
Gustav, do
here.
you want to use these?
Yeah, just let me see if she put the example of the touche tile. The touche tile is we have American now. The touche tile is basically a tile that you have a diagonal. You have half black and half white, and depending how you combine it with just one tile, you get a huge complexity of decoration. And this student has been looking in that type and then modifying it in a way that allows the generation of a series. If you see on page 97, a series of different wall types with just one tile. At the final decision, it has to do with kind of structural, to try to keep a hollow space that allowed for the structure to run through it. and eventually will be done, you know, it will be combined in a two-side type of, so you can have a cavity where you can hide dots or columns, that sort of things. She's working with the idea of a kind of taking traditional products like, you know, baskets or beads or and present it as a high craft, you know, like a, you know, a little more high end. So she's kind of thinking on a small, like a boutique kiosk for these products. You know, very few items, but you know, well located. Also, something which may not be clearly seen here. If you see this part here, the roof is actually a series of hanging coconut fibers. The project now it's taller, and the idea is that it will filter because desiccate the air.
Yeah, so beads, jewelry would
Yeah.
be really interesting. Cloth.
Yeah. So now she's the first thing problematic was how to, when you get a surface like this, is how do you generate you know, a door. So that seems to have been resolved. Now it is becoming a way how the same system will allow you to insert, you know, support like shelves or counters, you know, from the same type of structure.
Is that the last project?
No, I think we are.
Two more.
Okay.
We got two more.